Happy health and wellness to you whenever you're viewing this and wherever you are viewing this from. This is my health and wellness check-in for this past week. It is Sunday, 5 July 2026 AD, and I'm Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, and I check in for a week summary of my health and wellness, social, mental, and physical this past week, Monday 29 June to Sunday 5 July 2026 AD. It was a week with a multi-month assessment / goal setting of a calmer July and August with settling in of a more self-improvement and self-choice focus across my routines. So self-improvement here being like, what do I do? Do I have a stable baseline across different activities? Can I work on my YouTube stuff and kind of like pre-programmed content, but also being flexible with that? And then are there like overarching life projects I can work on, and taking that spontaneity and kind of like that I've been working on and establishing a base in my, in-person routine and being like, let's go to some of the meatier stuff and see if I've worked my business model and approach on YouTube enough that I can cover some stuff to emphasize self-choice, which goes back decades, including starting running with myself as coach back in January 2006. As you know, I chose to run out of self-choice, and being like, well, maybe I can make it a focus of being healthy. So even if I have doctor's appointments, I have less doctor's appointments. So kind of getting to say like a choice in kind of my physiology and doctor life, so to speak. All right, so there was so essentially the content I have kind of for July and August 2026, this month and next month, I'm really focusing on self-improvement and self-choice, and so kind of like covering stuff and like solidifying, revisiting, or expanding or broaching different things to kind of like be like, do I have a stable base? Let's put another building block in place, so to speak, or reinforce an existing one. All right, so that was the introduction to week summary. Social health, I fed the critters all of their meals this week. This week included neighborhood-friendly faces when out and about, including walk runs, and out and about was well-timed and paced. It was really, I would say, it was an excellent timing and pacing week on my part. So a little above average. So it's self-improvement paid off in terms of pacing for myself. Category 2 of 3, mental health. I have decided to designate this summer of 2026, a summer of self-improvement and self-choice. I've previously talked about self-choice in relation to my repeated decision-making to no longer use medication in treating my asthma in the first half of 2012. So I did bring up that kind of term earlier in this week. So there we go. So I've kind of elaborated previously, but mentioning here it was not out of the blue in my YouTube content, and not out of the blue in my life either, but bringing it in, introducing it, integrating it, melding it into my YouTube content. And then I had good family time on Wednesday at the house. Yeah, 3 generations there for good time, celebrating, family members' birthdays and America's birthdays, so to speak. So that was an enjoyable occasion, so that was good. Then let's see, my multiple theaters movie going appears to have not impacted my unlimited pass financially, so I'm trying to figure out about spending points as a soloist. The tone set year of figuring out my unlimited pass continues. Yeah, so like actually like using the pass is different at each theater, I'm finding out. Then there's like figuring out how the pricing of the pass works. There's the actual theater going, and then there's also like, I get reminded every once in a while that I have a bunch of points. I get points if I like buy stuff, or certain tickets will have points, and they'll be like, you have enough points for like 2 tickets, and I'm like, I've reached the point where I'm like, so like, okay, and this is me musing, it'd be like, so if I go to a movie, there are different designations for movies, and I was like, if there's a designation that means I can't use my pass, could I use my points? Oh, so I gotta like, am I looking for those when I'm looking for movies? Deliberately choose a movie to test my unlimited pass. Do I have a backup? So I'm on the unlimited pass year. I'm like figuring out continues. And then there's like, oh, look at, there's also the like add another theaters, right? Is there yet another way that I can use the unlimited pass, or like that they check it or something like that? So, does policy change? Okay, well, I'm out there. There we go. And then also part of mental health, I achieved a YouTube first. So I marked my first time watching a live stream of a FIFA World Cup match watch party. Was today, Sunday, 5 July 2026. YouTube channel Trevor Noah, who I've mentioned previously. He's a talk show host. If none other than the watch party. Okay. So it watched partial the live stream of the watch party, so like not the full watch party, but partial, for Brazil versus Norway during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And then last category, 3 of 3, physical health, glasses and movie going. So fit and self behavior evaluation at Regal Cinnabar Mountain Lake. I previously did this for Regal Thornton Place. Cautious, good and good. So it's kind of like a yellow as opposed to a green. Was green for Thornton Place. It's like a yellow or a yellow green here. Sitting tall, the backs of the frames bumped the headrest, and slouching I was okay. I was 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. Yes. So I was like, the back could bump the headrest, and I was also like, be careful then for my, like as a note to self, and then each time if I turn my head too much, I could press on the back, and I don't want to snap like the back of the flap off or like screw up the screws in the front. So I was like, careful there, Tanis. Which the movie screen's right ahead, right? So I shouldn't be going like this. But the waiter over there is like, like that kind of thing. So or waiter/waitress. So that kind of thing of like being cognizant of like maybe sit a little bit, like an inch, like if I can work on posturing in my movie going, and with that particular theater. So it's good to know. And with Thornton Place, especially if I, grew to 5 feet 9 inches tall or something like that. All right, for teeth, my jaw keeps shifting in response to changes to improve my bite/chewing. So I've got a good slow chew, but then like I changed something in my sleeping setting, and it was like the entire thing got like partially dehinged or something for a few days this week, and I was just like, don't know what's wrong, keep going, can't focus on it, like slow improvement, and so it gets better. But then as I change some of the stuff, it kind of like stuff goes seriously out of whack. So it's been a learning process. I realized my 2 front teeth might be sore in part because they are helping stop the twist in my twisted tooth. Yeah, it was like a decade ago. I was like, this tooth used to be, this chipped one, it used to be so bad. I have a receding gum line. It used to be a lot worse, and it would be, if I touched on it, it would actually like wiggle. That's how loose it was. That's how bad the receding gum line was, and that's not true anymore. But like a decade ago, I was like, it's almost like this tooth it was twisted a little, and I was like, if it could just twist a little bit more and like hold it in place, this tooth, and it's twisted a little bit more. This one doesn't wiggle so much. But I'm like, these two have been kind of sore, and I'm like, I wonder if they're trying to stop the twisting. Like that kind of thing. Like the teeth have some sort of muscle memory, right? They're held in place somehow, So it's like, it's figuring it out, and it requires my brain being tuned into this as well. Maybe it took into account my design specifications from like a decade ago. I was like, all right, now you got to apply that stop you thought about back then. I was like, stop. And then I finally figured out how to describe one of my teeth over here. The wear is like a tree with a split trunk. It is split, so putting pressure on it can make it sensitive, but it had been like this for over a decade. So I have like these teeth where I did some really bad damage to them like a decade or 10 to 15 years ago. And then like it's slowly changed, but like it's relatively holding steady, but it's largely held steady because I've changed my diet to softer foods. And so I think I have a stable, soft diet. So it's really, I've started focusing on teeth care. And with part of focusing on teeth care is I'm starting to like, I've been afraid of like, this tooth hurts, or I don't think it's like, that's how it was like originally when I got my adult teeth. So like actually being like, can I feel what's wrong with it? It's like a tree I see out on my walk around. There's a split trunk. So it's split a little bit, but that doesn't mean the tooth doesn't work. It's just, I need to accommodate the split with like softer foods. And if I push on it in a weird angle, there's kind of pressure there and it gets sensitive. So it's been like really being like, it's okay to look now. You know, taking that off me and understand and try and start like remembering. Do I remember where the damage came from? How long has it been there? And how, if I want to look at it like a self-inspection, so to speak, how frequently should I do it? Not all the time, or I don't freak myself out if nothing else. So really just self-care in the teeth arena and really improving that, because I have I got like 7 cavities when I had my braces taken off, and one, like in one go, it was like 6 or 7 or something like that. And I had, 3 fillings back in 2022. So like I've been really improving. So I'm trying to stay like that. So there we go. As a week of focus and self-improvement on small and, I hope setting myself up for summer kind of projects, self-focus, self-improvement as well. So happy health and wellness to you whenever you're viewing this, wherever you're viewing this from. And I'll link to some of the related playlists, those projects that I worked on this week in the video description.